Welcome back, listeners. This is the Big and Tall section on 91.9 The Buzz. Go ahead and take it away, Mr. Pugh.
Hey, man, what's going on, everybody, man?
Oh, yeah.
I was listening to 91.9 The Buzz. We're located in Statesboro, GA. We're at WVGS 91.9 The Buzz. And I also realized that I actually like that word, the buzz. It means so many different things. Because if you're feeling a buzz, that means you're in the right place.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But also, if you think about small insects, you're free to think so.
Yeah.
So when I think about the buzz, I think of very, very fun times in college.
Yeah, and it can kind of be like a verb too, you know, like what's buzzing in the interwaves, like what's going on in the world, and
which also makes you feel great.
Yeah.
That you're in the know. You added a lot of intelligence on the last. But no, man, appreciate y'all coming. We got some guests in the house tonight, man. We got a good show for y'all. It's going to be extremely informative. Some people may call it controversial. Some people call it useful. Some people call it pertinent. We're just going to call it the Big and Tall section. That's what we're going to call it today. So we got some guests in the house today. If you don't mind, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
My name is Tahir Daudier. I'm a senior film student here at Georgia Southern.
My name is Tyler Schuster. I'm a senior marketing major here at Georgia Southern.
All right. Now, Dale from Riverdale.
What's going on?
All right, man. Well, let's go ahead and get the people already acclimated to what we're going to try to do tonight, man. Let's just chime in, tell them what we do, tell them what we did this weekend, what kind of personality we have, and what we're trying to accomplish with the show, man.
Oh, man. As far as this weekend is concerned, I really just chilled out. Pretty much it. As far as what we're trying to do here on the show, we're really just trying to, it's not necessarily tell you how to think, but show you in the different ways of how you can think around a subject to whether you can interpret it on a level that's beyond just the surface understanding.
Right.
That's what we like to do that here. And also, give you a little bit more tools, to get on the job of loving yourself better.
Yeah, most
That's what
definitely,
we're all
man.
about.
Most definitely. The Big and Tall section, man, I know a lot of people see it, but everybody can't go. You know what I mean? It doesn't fit everyone. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's special occasions. It's special things that you need to do in order to be in that section, man. So we can welcome all, but only certain people are big and tall enough to actually understand what's going on and be ready to take accountability for their part in it. You know what I mean? And so today we're going to talk about a really, really important subject that affects everybody, regardless if they understand it or not, that it does affect everyone. We're talking about oppression, racism, all types of injustice, man. But our main conversation comes around just oppression, period. And one of the main portions of oppression is racism, which one of the the most wide scale systematic treatment of people of different races, or people, especially people with different skin colors, man. So we're actually going to talk about that. The reason why we're going to talk about that is because a lot of people said that we need to actually have a dialogue about it. You know what I mean? People need to talk about it a little bit more because we said on previous shows before that silence cosigns the violence that we see. And so if we actually see injustice towards each other in the world, on campus, at your job, regardless of where it's at, your silence can actually co-sign the violence that you see. It's equivalent to seeing somebody being robbed on the street and you walk by and be like, that's none of my business. At the end of the day, you know what's actually happening, and you have to search within yourself if you're going to say something about it, or if you're going to go home and actually have a talk with yourself, like, hey man, I feel bad about it. You know what I mean? I hope someone's okay. Let me at least call somebody and report it and see if that person can actually be all right. So we're doing a lot of soul searching within ourselves, man. I know a lot of times when we talk about this subject, we talk about what other people can do. And tonight on the Big and Tall section, we're actually going to take a more accountable approach. And, we're going to take a world view of it. Like, yeah, we see this, but what is my role in this? You know what I mean? What am I prepared to do to make sure that some type of justice is being served? All right. So tonight we're actually going to just talk about Let's go ahead and get these definitions out, because I realize, and we talked about this on previous shows before, that most arguments come from a difference of opinion and definitions. You ask a person about a word, and they respond a certain way, and somebody was like, well, no, I didn't even mean it like that. All right. So what we're going to do is go around the panel, man, and make sure that we define each word for ourselves, and then we'll know how each other is going to respond to it. All right.
Okay.
So Terry, we're going to start with you, man. What is oppression in your idea, in your own language? How do you define oppression?
Oppression to me is, I guess, a premeditated assumption or installation of learning that is directly correlated to your views and interpretations of a certain thing or person, you know. So and it's definitely tagged to negative connotations.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'd have to say, man, like if you were to strip oppression down to its core,
Okay.
to me, I don't know, man. It's really just like taking away someone's ability to basically carry out their lives and be able to just do what they're supposed to as a human being.
Okay. I define oppression as the root cause of any type of dehumanization. Pretty much what you just said. Anytime when I'm taking away someone's ability or right to function on their own, or am I taking away an equal playing field, I would say. When I'm specifically manipulating a situation to make sure someone wins and someone loses, I define that as oppression. Dale from Riverdale.
Y'all basically said everything that I felt. That was basically it.
What kind of oppression? What's some situations that you've seen where it was just blatant that some people were oppressed?
At work.
Okay.
Not necessarily where I work. At all. I don't feel.
But at jobs, period.
At jobs, period.
Right. And so sometimes when we see oppression, one of the things that kind of disturbs me as far as my part in this society, sometimes I have normalized the abuse. I've normalized the oppression. And what I mean by that is, I've taken the talk that most of us had with our parents that life is hard, right? And I'm not blaming parents, but this is just the talk that most parents or mentors or people that you look up to give you that talk. Like, it's not about excuses. It's about, taking the tribulations and trials that you get with life and try to make it through it, right? Some of the things that I notice now is that I applied obvious oppression that some people do as just life, and it's not. You know what I mean? So I say it is, okay, yeah, that person is beating up on that person culturally or religiously, right? And I say, well, life is hard. You know what I mean? That's like me giving them like I'm co-signing violence with normalizing that, life is hard.
Yeah.
And my uncle asked me a question that I did not know how to answer, but it keeps me thinking on a daily basis. He said, what if you find out that life wasn't supposed to have as many problems in it as it does? What if you find out life wasn't supposed to be as hard? What if life was just supposed to be a series of instances that you're supposed to figure out how to overcome them differently? But what if it wasn't supposed to be traumatic? What if it wasn't supposed to have a whole bunch of detrimental events that alter your way of thinking? What if you find out it wasn't like that?
Yeah, and that's a good question because, like you were saying, like we were kind of taught at a young age that, yeah, this is going to happen and you kind of have to just deal with it.
Right.
And then that's almost a lazy approach to take because something can be done about it and things have been done about it and they could still push in a positive direction, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, to me, a lot of those kind of trials and tribulations, especially attributed to racism, things like that, across the board, I mean, some of that stuff's just inevitable. Like, you really can't stop everybody in the world from speaking on those things and talking about it in a negative connotation. Yeah, that's just not possible,
Right.
So, I mean, I feel like handling it and interpreting it in a diplomatic way, you know, it kind of solves a lot of those problems, and it restricts people from really getting to you, because at the end of the day, like, that's what they're trying to do. If they get to you, they win, and that's the end of it. I mean, that's all those words do, is they get to you.
Right.
Exactly.
I think too, some of it is respecting other people's reality to the point you're not trying to define it for them.
Yeah.
Telling people they should get over it. You know what I mean? Or telling people it's not a big deal, or telling people it's a bigger deal than it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's actually respecting their own experiences for what it is. Yeah. Sometimes people can push their own agendas and say, hey, you're supposed to be mad. And like, what if I have the right to ignore that, what just happened? You know what I mean? You really can't take that away from me either. So what do y'all think about that?
Oh yeah, and I think that's real life. But I really want to kind of answer your question with a question. What about those individuals out there that live and look for that kind of thing? Because, you know, I'm an African American male, and I have a lot of African American male friends, and I have a select few friends who it's unfortunate to say, but they're one of those kind of people that, it's because I'm black kind of thing, you know, and I feel like that's almost it's almost, to me, worse than racism at times, because it's just like, you know, you're always just looking for that negativity. So and I feel like when you're looking for it, you create that world essentially for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because of that, that's the way you view it. So is it in that same situation? How do you think it should be approached? I mean, I guess that conversation with my friend. You know? Well,
to me, and Dale, man, I may need your help on this. One thing I found out, to me, is that there's a big difference between a reality mentality and a victim mentality. You know what I mean? One thing about it is, it's hard for me to tell somebody that they have a victim mentality, especially if I didn't know what they just went through. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's easier, if you're not in the picture, to try to describe it if you're not in it. You know what I'm saying? The person in the picture is just telling you what they see. You know what I mean? And I think it still just boils down to that respect factor, because even if you think or you feel like they are just saying, oh yeah, it's negative, we have no idea how much trauma that person has actually been experiencing. You know what I mean? And so one time I really just had to come to grips with myself. Sometimes when I say, hey, that's happening, that's not me playing the victim. That's actually letting people know my reality. You know what I mean? It's almost, I told somebody the other day, if the weatherman tells you exactly what's happening, right? Is he complaining? Or is he just telling you exactly what he sees?
He's just telling you what he sees.
You know what I mean? The weatherman does not, if it rains all week, he doesn't have a victim mentality. He's just like, it's been raining all week, probably gonna rain next week too. And so no one's telling him like, well, he's just gloomy. He's like, no, look at his experience. He's been calling the weather, for this while, and if he is expecting something like that. So, Dale for Riverdale, man, have you ever had somebody say, well, you're just being negative about it, and just discounting what you actually see?
It's not even about what you see; it's what you feel.
It's what you feel.
How you gonna like tell some? How you gonna tell someone how they experience an event compared to how you do? How people are like, oh, well, you're being negative. Everybody's opinion or their viewpoint, or in your form, reality is not really so much of our actuality all the time. What's actually going on is the bare value of the situation that's occurring and how it affects you. Your reality that you make of the situation, that's how they say how you come to a reality about it, is basically composed of all the different ways of which you will see things different than someone else, because your life events shape your views differently than someone else.
Right.
You can't have the same viewpoint as a person who's a millionaire when you've been scraping up 50 cents to get one of those squeeze hugs from the grocery store.
Now, squeeze hugs are very important, people.
They really are.
I really don't understand the people how they just overlook squeeze hugs
like that.
But I do have to.
You know what I'm saying,
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm a believer that what you think is what you see. So I've personally been a victim in racist situations.
Right.
But I guess I feel like that doesn't occur in my life anymore, because I almost, in my mind, I don't see it as an existing thing, even though it happens consistently. You know what I'm saying? So, but I feel like the chance of it happening is heightened if you're looking for it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because even if you've been through a really tough situation where, because I mean, I guess I can only speak on my personal level. I was on a field trip one time with my church group, St. James the Apostle in Henry County. Shout out to all the Catholics out there. I'm Catholic.
Cool.
And I was the token black guy of the group. I was the only African American male that went on this. It was a water rafting trip.
Did y'all have that conversation in the car? It's like, hey man, you're gonna be the token black guy.
I mean, when I first got to the church,
that is uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable, but fortunately enough, the love of God kind of overseen all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because we were all on that same playing field where we were still in an agreement to that to that degree. And we went to a store that's on the line of Tennessee and Georgia, and everybody went inside to get snacks and stuff like that. But I was in a stage of my life, you know, where iPods had just came out, so I couldn't leave anywhere without having my iPod in my ear and playing my jams. You know what I'm saying? Because I can walk around with music, and that was the biggest deal to me. So I was the last person to get out the car, because I wanted to make sure I had my music in my ear when I went in the store to go buy the snacks. I go in the store, excuse me, and I pick up the snacks and everything, and I'm still jamming out, so I'm not really seeing what's going on around me, you know, besides my friends being in the store. And I get to the counter, and I'm gonna pay for my snacks, and the guy shut down operation. Right there in front of me. He told me he wasn't gonna sell me the food, and I'm looking at him like, why? Like, I have the money, like I can pay for it. And he was just like, you need to get out of my store. I was just like, whoa, what's going on? And I'm looking around, and he's only looking at me because, you know, I came in with a group of friends. And of course, I walked out of the store because, I mean, I was scared. And my chaperone and the older individuals that were overseeing us at the time had to handle the situation. You know, and that kind of spoke to me because I was born and raised in New York. You know what I'm saying? So racism isn't that potent in the northern region, even though it is alive. But even with that,
it's just not in your face. Like,
yeah, it's not. They're not in their face. Like in the South is right there.
Here you go.
Here you
Next
go.
exit,
yeah. You know what I'm saying? And but even with that, like, it didn't, I guess, make me think or look at the world in an angry fashion. It was more of just like I feel bad for you kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that shapes the way I see the world. So like if in another sense, if I were angry and I'm walking around mad at the world, I almost feel like I'm making it worse for myself and the people around me.
And you say you self-identify with a race.
Yes.
What race do you self-identify with?
African American.
Okay, Tyler, what do you self-identify with a race?
I do.
All right, what race is that?
Jewish.
Okay. Yes. All right, so please tell us your viewpoint on oppression, especially the things that you've seen in your life.
Well, I mean, a lot like what you were talking about, coming from an area that they're really, like where I lived in Atlanta, there's a lot of Jews, but northeast of Atlanta, this high school I went to, there wasn't a lot of Jewish kids. Me and my brother were the only Jewish kids in our high school. So it was kind of one of those things where, like, I was happy that, like, on the outside, you couldn't tell I was Jewish, because I was kind of scared to tell that to people and express that to them, because a lot of times you just catch flack for it. And like I said, you know, one of those things that's inevitable. But since coming to college, I started a Jewish fraternity here with some of the greatest people that I know. Alpha Epsilon Pi, shout out. Love you guys.
All right. Cool.
We've actually, you know, we've come across situations where anti-Semitism has become a very prevalent thing. And, you know, throughout the country, it's becoming a prevalent thing on college campuses, and it's slowly working its way south. And honestly, it's inevitable. It's coming here to Statesboro, and it's a frightening thing because, I mean, you know, it's to me, it's just kind of pointless, just like racism in its entirety. So
how have you handled those situations so far? What did you do personally?
I mean, honestly, to me, what I like to say is violence is not the answer, but neither is silence. And it's just kind of to handle things diplomatically. There's no sense in going out and trying to, you know, get payback or revenge on something. You know, you can handle it in a way that it can be taken care of properly, but this is kind of when the whole justice system and it's, you know, how it's unfair at times comes into play. Because, like, for me personally, yes, I am a white male. You know, I believe that that white privilege is a thing, and I hate it. I think it's terrible. But that's kind of one of those times that comes into play, and that's beneficial for someone like me to handle things diplomatically when maybe someone that's African American doesn't have that ability to do that. You know?
Okay. So, in your experiences, and I'm glad that you said that too, because some people don't understand what white privilege is. Some people don't.
I don't think it's that they don't understand it. They just aren't willing to accept that it's a thing.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Some people don't want to understand it, which is also they don't want to recognize it at all. You know what I mean? So, and I think all people have some type of privilege, but when you start talking about white supremacy, that is actually embedded in every level or walk of life that we have, just the denial of it creates even more violence. You know what I mean? Just the lack of will to actually talk about it. You know what I mean?
Well, it's become one of those things to me that's it's like a routine now,
right?
Every day,
right?
You know,
right. So, well, I'll put it like this. I know we talked about on a grand scale what people have done and different regions can do. Individually, what do you all think people can do on their own to actually combat oppression, racism, and things of that nature?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is creating. And when I say create, I mean in any way you feel necessary. Like with us, it's, being on the radio, with somebody who writes, it's writing, and stuff, it's things of that nature. Because I honestly feel like the best way for you to touch an individual is to do what you love to do. So if you can do what you love to do and correlate a positive message within it, that's how you change people's opinions.
Okay. So creation is your weapon.
Yeah, creation is my weapon. I think creation is all of our weapons, because when you create a child, what you put into that child is your legacy. Is your ideologies.
So to kind of go off of that, I mean, you create your own child, but your child doesn't know that racism exists until you teach them that. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Or they get exposed without your knowledge.
Right.
Yeah. Somebody has to show it. Exposed. And one thing, I don't mean to cut you off and let you finish. It's a difference. What I found out is teaching and exposing. Because teaching has something like, I'm going to expose you with some type of explanation and give you some type of solution and weapons to combat it. Exposing is just, hey, we don't like them. And just drop the mic and just walk off. You know what I mean? So go ahead. I
mean, to me, it's one of those things that you just can't get rid of instantly. You know, it's going to take time. But to me, Morgan Freeman said it best. The best way to stop racism is just to stop talking about it. You stop telling kids that it's a thing. You stop, talking about the history of it and things like that. I mean, no, I'm not saying don't, to just forget about it.
Right.
But if you stop talking about racism today, I feel like eventually it will become irrelevant and people won't even know what it is.
Right. And I remember him getting some backlash with that.
Yeah. And I've gotten a lot of backlash saying that, but I firmly believe that, and I don't think that that's possible at all.
Yeah.
But
right. And I think what happens is stop talking about it. I think what a lot of people don't understand is oppression and racism are followed up with acts. It's a thought followed up with the act. So if the acts stop happening, I'm pretty sure it'd be easier not to talk about it. But as long as that ideas in someone's mind that someone's inferior and they think they can act on someone because they're inferior, that action is going to have a discussion afterwards. You know what I mean? So, and I think, I get what he was saying. You know what I mean? It was, I think a lot of people took it in the way they should have taken. I don't think they were wrong either. But I think it's a two-way street.
It is,
acts. So Dale from Riverdale, do you think, what are the what's the difference between how people think about race and how they can actually control their actions when it comes to race?
I think once you're racist, you're kind of just I wouldn't say it's a permanent thing, but it's like racism is one of those things that is so far ingrained in you that if that's something that you gave into, it'll take control over you. I feel like you once you're exposed to racism and you're taught racism, whether it's in an invasive type, well I'm not trying to say invasive, whether you were taught to evade it, hey, them boys over there, they don't like us too much, hey, don't bother them, hopefully they won't bother you, or whether you're taught more on the, hey, we don't deal with those kind. You're taught in the more authoritative, which will be in the privileged position because you're clearly the higher than. You know, whichever way you're taught, that's like, or how you're exposed to it. And like, I was exposed to it that it was wrong, but I went through it and my experiences justified, oh, I know why we don't like him, we don't trust him type thing because of the things that's happened to me. But the whole thing about it is we're teaching our kids to see color and automatically think that the opposite color is bad before we're just teaching them and letting it be enforced instead of just saying, hey, there's terrible people in every race.
Right.
Just because he's opposite of color than you, that doesn't mean that he's racist towards you. He could just be a terrible person to everybody.
Right.
But no, we grew up saying, oh, I knew that's why I had a bad experience because that person's this color. And you're just sitting there like, no, they could have just been a terrible person. But we don't grow up. Now that we're enlightened to that, we know that way of thinking is wrong. But at the same time, it's so far ingrained to us, it comes as a thought before we do it as an action. So there's a difference between, you know, thinking about racism and our thoughts about racism. It's like once it's been taught, it's ingrained to where it's hard to go away. But we can definitely change our actions because we don't have to speak nor act on the thoughts that we have that are against the other race.
Let me ask y'all this. I know a lot of people have conversations on their own, and I've heard several different answers, and you know, all of them are something worthy to be researched. Where do you all think the origin of racism comes from?
The classroom.
Historical too?
Historical. I think the origin of not historically, but I think in today's day and age. I don't know about y'all, but do y'all remember that day in school where y'all learned about slavery and racism? Like, I remember that day distinctly because that's when the classroom separated.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, that's when it was like you looked around and everybody was kind of having like that awkward look, like, oh, you know, because it got in depth. We are different, you know, and we kind of already knew that, you know, because just based off the way we act, talk, you know, stuff like that. But now we're in a classroom and we're all talking about these strains of events that are I think that they're structured in a way that kind of picks a side, unfortunately.
Okay.
Like, you can't have Columbus Day and then say racism is bad. And when racism is bad or slavery is bad. You know what I'm saying? In the same sentence. It's
hypocrisy with
it's like, hey, yeah, we're gonna celebrate this guy who came to this country and pretty much started the revolution of slavery. We're gonna give him a whole day about it. We'll even drop school for it, you know, in some places, and then the next week in class, a couple chapters later, we're talking about how terrible slavery is, and it's just like, I'm not really sure. I'm perplexed in this situation. Okay. And I think if the way it's packaged, it could change the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because even if the mom and dad is at home telling their child one thing, and then they come to the classroom and they're receiving a neutral curriculum,
right?
Then when they go back home, they're questioning mom and dad. Okay. And then mom and dad is maybe seeing, okay, my teachings may be a little off from where they should be.
Okay. All right, Tyler. Where do you think the origin of racism comes from?
It's gonna sound, I guess, kind of generic, but I'm going in depth on it. Slavery, to me, and I don't just mean slavery in America. You know, there's slavery in Africa, there's slavery in Egypt as well. And when you know, this primal instinct takes over as a human being, that you are holier than thou or bigger than thou, and you're able to take over, and these people did that, and they take slaves, it automatically puts this division in their society where basically these people that are lower than them, that they can tell to do whatever they want to and forced to do, that's the way they're treated, you know, because they have no rights anymore. They were stripped of their rights and brought to another land. Right. So, I mean, to me, that's where it stems from.
Okay. I think, to me, racism or any type of oppression or dehumanization comes from a spiritual imbalance, meaning that that in order to oppress another human being, you have to justify that act by trying to prove it. You know what I mean? You have to justify that thought process with a label so everybody else can join in. You know what I mean? And also too, what I think all bullies, I'm just say something real here. I think bullies across all genres, all labels, all categories operate from a place of insecurity. Think about any time when someone tried to make you feel less of who you are. What kind of personality did that person have?
Yeah.
Was that person actually happy?
Yeah, and that's usually what the case is.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so now I'm looking at let's take skin out of it, right? Just for the second, just for the moment. I think skin makes spiritual imbalances convenient towards certain people. I think just the act of treating people horribly is something wrong with your spiritual makeup to me.
But what about how do you explain that to those who aren't spiritual?
No. I'm just talking about as a being on this earth.
Okay.
I'm not even talking about religious. Regardless of what religion you or affiliation, or if you just don't even have one. I'm talking about if you even believe in a spirit or a soul that dwells within that inside your human body. Just the ability to justify mistreatment. I think it's something going on within you that is quite unfortunate. Yeah. And honestly too, I mean, if you really talk with people who have a religious background or spiritual background, some people say it's demonic. You know what I'm saying? Some people say that the devil hates human beings. So anybody who hates human beings has a demonic spirit. Some people say that, you know what I mean? I just say it's a spiritual imbalance, meaning that something about that person's humanity throws you off. It makes you uncomfortable. It makes you want to take their humanity away. You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, a lot of people may look at certain situations and say, hey, well, those people, like say for instance, right? I don't like oppression or racism, but I've become comfortable with labels, right? The thing that came out with Jared and Subway, right? Oh yeah. When people say, child molesters, right? And child pornography watchers, right? They, this, they, and the other, right? Some people can get that label without even a crime. But if something happens to that person, if I say, well, they got charged with what? Oh, go ahead and deal with them. You see what I'm saying? It's that label that justifies that mistreatment that is really the root cause of all of this. That's what I believe. So it's kind of like, and I'm not trying to compare those. Let me be clear in saying I'm not saying they're the same thing. I'm just saying how easy it is to use a label to justify your imbalanced spirit. If I want to take your humanity away from you, I can say all of them are like this, or they are unhuman, or they derive from here. Like a lot of racist ideologies come from scientific quote unquote proof. Some people have actually used scientific knowledge or lack of knowledge or some type scientific documents to prove how they actually feel, but it has no facts in it. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So it stems from like a justification station. Like, yeah, I don't like you, but I'm going to make it normal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make it a way of life.
I'm going to make it okay for me not to like you.
So you take it back to the very beginning of where this all started then.
Right.
What was the initial justification? Like, what made somebody go, you know what? I'm going to hate these group of people, and this is my justification. But, like, what was that justification? To me, that doesn't make any sense to me.
And that's what boggles my mind, because somebody thought they were the original human.
Yeah.
Somebody somewhere thought they were the only human being on the face of the planet. And if somebody else looks different, talks different, sounds different, or just is inconvenient, I will label that person non-human. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I will just say, because think about this. Think about how people justify how they treat different other species because, well, they're not human. And so that justifies the lynchings. Well, they're Negro. You know what I mean? And so they're no longer human beings. So that justification behind that spiritual imbalance, man, that's what the root cause of that racism is. Even when it comes down to all types of different oppression. Like if something inside of me is so interrupted by that person living, I can justify it by creating some type of label that lets everybody be on the same page with me.
Yeah.
and say, well, you know how they are, they do this. It's almost like a campaign. And also, to me, I think the root cause of racism is mindset marketing. They have to really get inside the mind and let you know that equals bad, that equals death, that equals non-human. And so put like this: when you see a spider or a pest or a roach in here, what's the first thing you got to do?
Kill it.
Mm-hmm. And that's right. And that's what I was gonna say. Just to kind of, I guess, re-answer your original question on what the origin was. I think it just comes down to one word and one word only, and that I think it's just fear.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I think it's fear because it's we happen to be a species that really is, if something doesn't make sense to us, we don't want to have anything to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like the homosexual community. You know, like when that's something that became a lot more popular in the world. Like at first it was just like, what? How could they do what? Oh no, yeah, keep them away from my kids, keep them, and immediate oppression towards them, because it was something that it took us a while to comprehend.
Because guess what? A lot of people equate homosexuality with child pedophilia.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And they put those two together and then made people justify the treatment.
Exactly. And then for those who kind of understood it and wanted to make but still were against it, then they started correlating their own religious values into it. So then that gave them another reason to justify the way they felt, the way they did, and then so on and so forth, and I think it just all comes from that innate place of just fear.
Right. And what's the opposite emotion of fear?
Love.
Okay. What do you think, Tyler?
Opposite emotion of fear? I think it's love. Yeah,
I think it's love. So what is the two, like, I know they're the opposite, what are the key ingredients to both, in your opinion? And that's hard because the reason why I ask is, as many people as there are on this earth, that's how many different definitions of love is.
I'd say the two key ingredients for both are time and passion. Time and passion, because you have to take the time out to really understand what it is.
Commitment.
Or commitment.
Both of them have to have a commitment, right?
Yeah, you gotta commit to, all right, I'm gonna use my brain for however long to try to get what's going on here. And then once I get that and I come to my assumption, I'm gonna use my heart, my passion to follow it up. So whether that is I really, really hate this or I really, really love this, it takes both time and passion.
What's something else they have in common? Excuses.
That's a good one.
Love and fear both possess excuses. Now they both possess passion, but they both possess excuses. And I think both of them, to some people, justify ignorance.
Why you say that?
Because sometimes when someone doesn't want to get to know something or wants to dig deeper, well, I love them anyway.
Just put up that wall.
Just put up the wall, right? Yeah. Or I don't mess with them anyway, so I don't want to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? It's just that denial. Both of them possess some level of denial.
But see, the funny thing is that denial right there that you just said was based off of a pre-assumption.
Okay. Elaborate on that.
I mean, what you said was, I don't want to mess with that person. It's not like you actually tried to.
Exactly.
It's that pre-assumption that you have that you basically put that wall up on yourself and you stop yourself from the ability to kind of deal with things. And
exactly. And sometimes people, some people don't want to. Some people think love and fear are the same thing. Since they have so many things in common, and sometimes they both take emotion. Sometimes those emotions go on to both ends of the spectrum, and they are considered the exact same thing. So, say for instance, you can say you love someone when in fact you're scared to let them go. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's why a lot of people get kind of confused. Love and fear, those are the two major emotions. I think there may be some more, but love and fear are the two major emotions. But a lot of people justify what they want to do because of both of them. You know what I mean? So I think at the end of the day, man, we need to just see that that we can actually hold ourselves accountable. Our interpretation of those words are just as important as everyone else's. And the things that we see on this world, man, we just have to understand what our actual part of them is. You know what I'm saying? How do we either support them or how do we tear them down? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's see here, man. What else we got here? I think this show is actually that we have a lot of people actually chiming in. I talked to maybe like 3 or 4 people this week. We had a really good show. Not a show. There was a good program on campus last week called Courageous Conversations. It was actually put on by Professor Nathan Palmer. He's a really cool professor on campus. If y'all don't know Professor Palmer, y'all need to go meet him. He's in the sociology department on campus. And Dr. Brian Hazlip, she's actually a teacher overseas in Dubai right now. So she came back and did a presentation. They both did a presentation on race and how to have that conversation. And one of the main topics that a lot of people appreciated was actually talking about the discomfort of talking about race. How do people actually handle that uncomfortable feeling with talking about race? How do y'all handle it?
Well, personally, laughter always helps.
I agree.
You know, if you can laugh about something, it makes the conversation a lot better.
Comedy
you know?
helps a lot.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people realize, but it's kind of something to laugh about. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like yeah, it's a serious issue. You know, a lot of people are affected. You know, and by it in bigger ways than others. But you know, if you can really bring things to a comedic level, I think that's something that any race, age, sexual orientation, everybody, even language, even if you speak a different language, a laugh is a laugh. You know, and if we can agree on to laugh on this one piece of conversation, then we're already in a better place.
Right. Okay, Todd?
Best way to deal with it to me, man, is I'd say honesty.
Honesty.
Just honesty.
Honest jokes.
Honest joke, yeah. You tell some honest jokes. No, but I mean, like
that's the power of a comedian. Y'all better recognize. I'm telling you, honest jokes. Go ahead, bro.
But I mean, like, you know, like I feel like a lot of people nowadays, they like to kind of beat around the bush and kind of try to avoid the elephant in the room. And if you were to approach somebody, I feel like today, with that honesty, they're more likely to take whatever controversial conversation you're about to have. With a lighter heart than they would if you were just to be ignorant about it and say something stupid, you know? I feel like if I were to go up to somebody and be like, hey, man, I don't like you. Sorry. And I left, it's a lot better than if I were to walk up to somebody and start just like throwing profanity and you know, aggressively dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I feel like honesty is the way to go about it.
I think with me, and I don't expect anybody else to do this, but I know my sanity has definitely been helped by having a high level of self accountability. You know, and the difference. I'm not talking about self blame. I'm talking about self accountability, meaning no matter what's going on, that I choose how I interpret everything around me. I will choose that, regardless if I'm right or wrong, regardless of anybody agreeing with me or not. I'm going to choose how I look at every single situation around me, because I believe that is a part of being a free human being, a free thinking human being.
You got to realize you have wrongs and faults.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now, not only that, I'm accountable for what I hear. I'm accountable for what I interpret, and I'm accountable for how I respond. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what people agree or disagree with everything that's around me, that's up in the air. But the I guess the 3 non-negotiables is what I understand, what I interpret, how I respond, and what I do with my life.
And that really does help with the situation. Like if you open a conversation saying, hey, I already realized that what I could be saying and what I'm about to say could be completely wrong.
Right.
You know, the person that you're talking to is already realizing that, okay, this is somebody who's not thinking that they're right throughout the entire conversation. And that's something that tends to immediately dwindle conversations from it being you know, like a regular conversation and being a debate. You know what I'm saying? Or just being who can top the next person with the next sentence kind of thing. You know, it's like, all right, this guy's humble, let me be humble too.
Okay. Now we actually had, and Dale, I want you to chime in as well, man. We had had another text come in. I want to read this. This is actually pretty deep. But Dale, what do you think can help make the conversation about race and or oppression a little bit easier than it has been?
I'll just come in, and I have an old school approach to it. So I don't really, it's uncomfortable for a reason. It's uncomfortable because whenever you realize that you're not at your best, no matter what it is, whether it's your moral code, when it comes to just you participating in something that you know is wrong or not quite right, or whether it's just a habit that you form, when you realize something is messed up about it, it becomes uncomfortable because you know you got to change it, but you're used to it.
Right.
So to me, I just go in there and just be like, look, this is my view on it. Can you enlighten me? That's what, like, hey, can you answer these questions for me? So if I am ignorant, then I can hold myself accountable and I can change. Okay. So to me, I don't think it's any easier way to do it than just make sure that you are trying to be an advocate to get to the most positive place on the subject viewpoint.
Okay. One thing I want to add, and I want to get to this text message. I think a lot of people have this notion that you have to like people.
Yeah. It's not a requirement.
That is not a requirement, man. I really just, I think just to have it inside of your mind that I don't have to hurt or oppress this person, but I do not have to hang with you. I don't have to eat food with you, you know what I'm saying? Although I will, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're paying, I don't care. You know what I mean? But I think the point of it is, I think some people have to try and force it, and I don't think it's something to be forced. But I think the only thing that can't be forced is you unevening that playing field based off what that person is. I think the force has to not come on you or from you. I think it should be genuine, but I don't think you should just oppress anyone based because of their lifestyle, because of anything. And if you try to justify taking their humanity away, that's totally up to you. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm gonna get into this text, and I'm gonna call him out, man. That's big dog Shane, dog. Appreciate you listening in.
Shout out to Shane. Shane, how you doing, bro?
He actually said some really cool stuff, man. I want y'all to chime in, and then we're gonna get into the dumb portion of the show. All right, and some people only listen this far just to be like, can y'all get to the jokes? I've been trying to let go of all this stuff all week. I got tests. Right. I ain't trying to talk about nothing serious. All right, he said the opposite of emotion of fear is anger. All right. He said, with that fear brings the anger associated with extreme races. That anger, not only is some people who fear, but it's some people fear so much to the point they transfer that fear emotion to that anger.
See, yeah, and that's why I said love is the opposite of fear, but just because I feel like the core root of anger is fear. You know what I'm saying? Like the text message kind of said, it was just like, fear that then translate into anger, you know, and because it's kind of hard for me to say, just because that for you to be angry about something, there has to be a place of recognition where it takes energy to be angry, right? And for you to put that amount of energy towards something, I kind of feel like there's some fear in there. Okay, all right. And the last thing he says that can also be seen in the black community as well. We're no longer afraid of Caucasians, nor our anger can be seen in various protests around the country. They want us to be afraid instead of angry, and with anger comes action. It's real deep. Want to appreciate you, Shane, for listening in, man. Yeah,
if y'all
shout out to Shane. We need to get him in the studio. Get him in here.
Also,
I had a convo with him earlier.
Exactly. Very, very cool, brother, man. Thank y'all so much for actually listening in. But I want to give y'all some reading material. A lot of the things that we talk about, man, it comes from some of the things that people tell us, and some of the books that people actually suggest to us to read. One of the most important books that I'm reading right now, and I suggest people actually look this person up, because this person actually has radio episodes on YouTube. All right, this gentleman's name is Neely Fuller Jr. I don't know if a lot of people have never heard of this person before. And this person has actually helped me understand what is oppression, what is white supremacy, what is all type of different oppressions, and what's the root cause of it.
Can you say the name one more time?
Neely Fuller Jr. And he has this book, and it's a long title, but just try to Google it and you'll see it. He has a book called The United Independent compensatory code system concept. It is a concept, meaning those are thought is for people who have thought, speech, and action for those who are victims of oppression and white supremacy. You know what I mean? Across all spectrums. So he basically talks about how people define and use words to dehumanize people and the documents that are used to justify those actions. He actually teaches people how to look at words, look at the definitions, and actually use counter actions and counter words to offset the injustice that is actually being produced in this country and all over the world. So I really think people need to look into it. His name is Neely Fuller Jr.
Nice.
United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept. I try to read some of it every day. It helps me be accountable for what kind of person I am.
Nice.
And it helps me look to, you know.
I got a book I want to shout out too that kind of helps me on my journey. It's a fairly popular book. I think it's been on the bestseller for years, and it's called Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
By Napoleon Hill.
Okay.
Great book. It's really correlated to the thought of making money and establishing yourself in whatever career it is. But there's a lot of life lessons in there as well.
Gotcha.
And it really correlates to kind of what I was saying a little bit earlier to the law of attraction and how you can create the world you want to live in just based off of your thoughts.
Gotcha. Think and Grow Rich. What was the author?
Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill. And James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. It's one
I've heard about that.
Oh man, if y'all don't have time to just crack open the book, download an app on your Google Play or App Store called LibriVox. That's LibriVox. That's audiobooks, free audiobooks.
Oh, okay.
That you can listen
Long
to.
trips.
I'm serious. While you listening to Lil Wayne and Future, get you some other. I'm not shining on them or nothing. I listen to Future.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But if you want to listen to something else, there are audiobooks you can get through several books a week just by listening to them. You know what I mean? So Tyler, you got any suggestions for us?
Honestly, I don't have any at the moment, man. I've just been deep in the textbooks.
I got you. Dale from Riverdale, you got any suggestions for the people?
Not at all. Just read people's interactions.
All right, read people.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Open your eyes.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So, one thing we just want to leave you with before we get stupid, and stupid meaning positive stupidity.
Positive stupidity. Yeah,
we need to make that like a legit drop. We gotta record that and play it every time we go into it.
Yes, positive stupidity.
Positive stupidity.
You gotta do the Charlie Wilson shop it down, tweet, whatever he be saying. Yes, you know what I'm saying. So, but no, honestly, I think across the board, as us as human beings on this planet, man, I really think we need to just hone in on what we think we're supposed to do. I think a lot of people are really searching for the idea of why they were born. And I think if you, and I was just telling Dale this right before the show, one of the things I want to do is try to eliminate as many distractions out of my life as possible. A lot of the things in this world are here specifically just to distract you from why you were born. You know what I mean? And I think across the board, no matter how you look at things, some things are supposed to be paid attention to. Some things are meant to just skip over really quick. And some things for you, some things are here specifically for the notice, but not slow you down. You know what I mean? A lot of things in our past that hurt us. I can't tell people to forget them, especially if your memory is working. I hate when people tell you to forget what happened, right? But you do have a choice of how much baggage you take with you on your flight to your next destination. As you notice, if anybody has flown a plane before, you can't take everything that you own with you and get where you need to go. All right. So I would take just enough so you understand where you've been, but don't take too much where it stops you from getting to where you need to be. All right, so we love y'all very much. That was the last intelligent thing we're gonna say this evening. All right, the next couple of seconds, we're gonna play this game that we have to play with all of our guests that come to the Big and Tall section. You understand what I'm saying? Shut Random noises from Dale. But no, man, we have this show. We have this segment called "If You Really Knew Me," right? If you really knew me, right? And now what we're gonna do, and we're gonna have to get to know y'all. And there's only one rule.
Okay.
Don't lie.
Okay.
Don't lie, no matter how embarrassing it is.
All right.
Just do not lie. We will laugh at you, and we will low key judge you in the car. But while you in the studio,
you can't get any worse. Because I tried to like snort a whole Crystal burger up my nose one time. It was so delicious.
and Dale Bass cleaner. He's the fourth. You know what I'm saying? Dale has the stories that can't nobody top stories, bro. All right, so what we're gonna do? All right. If you really knew me,
what's up? All
right, let me. And this is what we got from one of our listeners, right? If you really knew me, you would know this is a deal breaker when I'm talking to a significant other.
Oh no, that's so serious.
Yeah, no. It can be dumb though.
Oh,
it
man.
can be real stupid.
Oh man, I already know what mine is.
I don't mind.
Jesus, I don't know what mine is. It's so many things.
Hey, it's a deal breaker. If you really knew me, a deal breaker for me is a girl that can't take care of her feet. When I tell you what, yo.
So you don't like them eagle beaks?
No. Cause you know
I do like a French man.
You don't like them. You don't like freedom feet.
I don't even care if it's the nail. I don't care if it has nail polish. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's cool. You know, I like the whole natural look thing, all that. But
you just like feet. Like
I honestly don't like feet. That's the real true
so
thing.
So you're just
about
a non-foot person anyway.
I mean,
I'm right there with you, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's not my thing. I'll give my girl a foot massage if she needs it. You know what I'm saying?
Gloves on?
Nah, I'll do it bare hand. You know, she had a nice long day at work. You know, I'll make sure I take care of her. But if you
eat hot wings afterwards and still try to have that foot smell under the nail. That's how everybody knows.
No, it really, because it says so much. It says so much. It says so much. Like if you can't take the time out to take care of your feet, especially during the wintertime, because summertime girls gonna do it just because it's a part of the whole fashion sense. But in the wintertime, when that boot comes off and the steam comes out the boot,
steamy boot syndrome.
You know what I'm saying? Hey,
like she cooking asparagus in there.
If the feet ain't right, I might just have to hit the door.
If the feet ain't right, try here room by.
When the heel makes you heal.
Y'all lucky because y'all gonna get play from Tahir because it's that time of the year where y'all wrap y'all feet up anyway. Y'all stop shaving and all that type of stuff.
Man.
Yeah, Tahir, he hates this time of year, so don't try to date him now.
I hear like the Wolfman and Donna. All right.
You only know about it if you've ever
You're from Atlanta.
You only know about it.
Everybody from Atlanta know Wolfman and Donna.
I wanted to count something.
All right, Tyler, man. If people only really knew you, they would know this is a deal breaker when it comes to your significant other.
Oh man, deal breaker.
All right,
all right, I'll have to be real. I know it's just kind of like women can't really avoid this, but if you have hair on your arms, like, and you just leave it there, and you don't really try to do anything about it, that's a deal breaker for me.
That's a deal breaker?
Yeah, for real. I mean, like, I can cope with it for a little while, but in a long term sense, there's no way. I'm sorry, I just can't do it.
If you got hair bows dangling off your wrists, that's when you got too much air on your arm, right? You got to braid that up. Okay, all right. Deal breaker. You know what, man? Okay, this is stupid. I don't like. Ain't gonna lie, especially in my younger days, I really didn't like when females tried to act like they wasn't doing something, and they was clearly doing it.
Mm-hmm. What you
know
mean?
what I mean?
What you mean?
All right, I'm gonna get real.
All right.
I hate it when girls have wedgies and act like they ain't got them, and then they try to like 007 it out. Yeah. Let me explain. I had a young lady. All right, you know what I'm saying? I had a young lady. She had on tight pants, and I could, I saw the panty line. And I was like, something's hungry. You're gonna have to fix that, right? and she was trying to, how you. I don't know if y'all noticed it, but sometimes when girls try to pull out, wedges, or whatever, they have that. Hey, what's that over there? Like bringing up stuff that don't matter. And the whole time I was like, I'm looking at it until you pull it out. You know what I'm saying? I date real people. I'm not fake, right? And so this whole time, and this was at the beginning of the date. This at the beginning of the date, and I got a smooth 4 hours planned. So I'm like, you're gonna have to ignore that widget for 4. I'm gonna watch the magic happen, right? So we in the. I took her to the mall just to see her walk in it, right? And do you know Do you know she was out there lunging? You ever seen somebody lunge, try to lunge with you? And she was out there stepping like she was about to do the long jump. And I'm sitting up there like, I can't be with you. I'm sorry. You already trying to put on. I said, man, just get you a pair of gloves and go to work. You'll be fine. You'll be fine, man. She's no longer with us, man.
It got real serious.
Yeah, she's no longer with us.
Yeah, I don't know her no more.
In
I'm
spirit.
not falling for that.
She's in Tennessee though.
I knew it. I wasn't gonna fall for it. He done
Yeah, for Riverdale.
He done hit me with that so many times. Oh Lord.
She did lunge though. Y'all should have seen it
Man, it's two things.
on the wet floor.
If you really knew me, forget it. It's two things because these are really important to me. I'm gonna do. Y'all did the
This is
joking
finna
ones.
be-
I'm gonna do a serious one
That's a joking
for
one.
y'all who care, and I'm gonna do a joke one. Serious one. If she's not affectionate, I can't.
Oh man, the lady was like, "Oh, Dale."
If he's,
I can hear the women through my earphones. Oh,
if she's not affectionate and or like loving, no, I don't. It's not. I feel like but depending on the guy, it's good to be clingy to a certain extent. Like, you know, it's good to have that level just enough so the other person be like, that person really does want me, but not enough to the point where they're like, okay, look, please get off of me. You know, just that good balance where it's just like, it's a little over the top, but it's not unbearable. I like that. If she can't handle that, or what, I'm a huggy, touchy, feely, kissy type of teddy bear type dude. So if you're not affectionate, oh no, I'm a romantic, so no, that ain't gonna work. You go,
Ladies.
bye.
you're gonna have to hug back, ladies. That's
So messed up.
you're gonna have to hug back.
Like I'm just walking around, just
No. It's consensual. No, it's consensual hugs. I'm just
Okay.
saying she can't act like she too good to show affection. That's what
where
I'm saying.
like she like.
You gotta hug back, or you can't get in the car.
What are you talking about?
And it's raining. You better hug me because it's lonely in the rain.
All right, so here's my joking one, right?
Dodge some raindrop.
If you fronting on how much you eat or what you like to eat,
Slow clap.
when I take you out, I feel like that is entrapment. And I feel like that is entrapment. I feel like that's fraudulent. And you're trespassing on my right to know how you really eat. Because let me tell you something. These girls be fronting and they be like Transformers or whatever.
Man, like the Minnesota
Let me
Oh my
Vikings.
God!
Let me
not
just
even
get a
talking about
salad.
appearance. I'm talking about how they eat.
Yes.
You be with her, she be like, "I have the salad." You be like, "What? Oh, I'll just have the 3." And I'm just okay, ladies. Don't think I'm sexist or nothing. I know all y'all don't talk about that, talk like that, but it's a comedic effect. Calm down.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you know what I'm saying?
That was sexist, Dale.
Well, I'll just have the 3 chicken tenders, and you can hear her stomach going, "Oh."
That way you know your stomach line. Come on, you
man.
can't.
You can't
That's
do
stupid.
that.
That's
You
real
hear your
stupid.
stomach go, "Oh," and it's like always after that too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot, not all, women already have this entitlement of we must feed them, we must provide or whatever, just because that's what we have to do to
Show
even
me the
get their
brochure.
attention.
That ain't in the Bible.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway, okay, if you're gonna have that entitlement, and this is a whole nother different things, because just for us to be considerable to date, we have to live up to a whole lot of things that they require. But when we be like, oh, okay, we'll do all that, but we require this, then no matter what it is, it's like, oh my God, you have an expectation of how I'm supposed to treat you in return? Oh, this guy is out of his mind. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But I feel like it's my right to know how you actually eat. Because this whole cupcake, talking to each other, chilling late night, talking on the phone type cakey situation, finna end someday. and then you gonna be like, oh, okay.
When the gloves come off.
I'm gonna walk into your house and you gonna have like one of those cups of chili from Wendy's. Like,
It's so specific. It's so specific.
A double waffle with cheese or whatever, and you
That's
gonna
two
have
different
some
businesses.
Yeah, she went to Wendy's and Burger King.
and then she have a strawberry cheesecake blizzard from Dairy Queen, and she all sitting there like, that wasn't enough. And you sitting there like, I thought you were the girl that wanted this salad. You know, that's $5.79 at Wendy's. I thought I was doing, bro, what? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel like we should at least, if we gonna be expected to court and feed, at least let us know what we gonna, don't trick us. Because y'all know y'all want to be fed. Don't trick us. We sitting there thinking like, I can afford this woman when we go out.
Exactly.
Okay, I can afford. No, I cannot. Oh my
No,
God,
I cannot.
she just had 2 of the Charlie's Chung Pao plates. Those are $11 plates a piece. And you know those big old places. Like you go in the hood. And
They have to staple your plate together?
Yeah, and it'd be like a whole half of rice, chicken, scrimps.
It's
Scrimps, everyone.
Chicken and all that type of stuff. I'm intelligent, I promise. I just feel like it's fun to say scrimps.
Yeah, scrimps sounds
Because it
good.
irritates so many people. I love it. But it's like chicken, scrimps, a little bit of beef, and then like with the rice fried up or whatever, and she'll eat that whole thing like, oh baby, that was good. Wait a minute, you were my little rabbit when we first got on a date. Now you like a Tyrannosaurus Rex / tiger, just going in on the food, just straight carnivore. And I'm sitting here like, I'm halfway through my plate, and I was feeling like I was gonna give up. Now I have to finish. And I can't let my girl out eat me. Like, I just hate that, man. Eat how you gon'. My whole point is, I know I went around the world on a tangent or whatever, but food is worldly worthy. You know what I'm saying? But I hate it when you be fronting like you don't eat like that. If anything, let me know you don't eat as much. We'll go shut down the buffet together.
That's true love right
Me and
there.
you
That is true love.
together.
That's true love
I
right
don't
there.
care if you got a little sauce hanging from your lip or whatever. Or you got some,
She's saving
or
it for
you
you.
eat some lemon pepper wings and the pepper going across your lip, and it look like a crusty, like it look like your lips have been chicken feathered in wing sauce. Like I don't care what it is.
Oh, man.
If we doing it together, I'm supposed to love you through it all. And if your face is fat because you enjoying your food, I'm loving you through it all. I'm tired of you fronting about what you like to eat. Eat good with me.
Moving away from food for a minute, I don't like it when my significant other or a girl that I'm trying to talk to at all gives me a hug with them exposed deodorant.
Oh man.
And then next
And
thing
it's
you know,
like stick to your arm.
it's not even stuck to your
That's
arm.
the real deal breaker right
you
there,
got it on
that
your
white
shoulder
stuff.
for the rest of the
Yeah.
day. And she give you that hug and put both her hands up, and she got a little tic tacs on her arms.
Word.
And
That's
you
so weird.
You
to
like
me,
it's like
man.
small little peppermints. I don't
Yeah.
understand it.
That's
It ruins
odd.
it. It ruins it. And one of them fell on my. I wore Timberlands back in the day. One of them fell on my Timberlands, and I could not get it out.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny because like over the course
throw them shoes away.
of just having this conversation, I think I really figured out what my deal breaker is, and I think it's vernacular and jargon. Like if a girl uses the
Shout out to the
word,
girls who don't know what vernacular is.
okay, yeah. If you don't know what vernacular is,
My
then
cousin
you're
got a
already a deal breaker.
2015 vernacular.
But like, no, seriously, it's like the words like I really dislike the word
A van accurate.
thirsty.
Thirst. Ah!
I hate that word so much because it's like,
Because I'm not a talk
They
to you
just
like a
saying
person.
it.
Yeah, like,
I'm
some
thirsty,
females
I
are
don't
just
talk to you
saying
like
it.
a
Just
person.
yeah,
to be
it's like,
saying it.
okay, I actually want to commit my mind and my time to trying to pursue something with you, and it's like, oh yeah, he's thirsty. Like, whatever happened
like,
to just being interested?
You know what a girl
But it's
said
like
that to me?
$4 for a pack of 48.
No, a girl.
Great value water.
And it'd be her
Ain't no
friends
reason
too.
to
It'd be her
thirsty
friends like,
over
girl,
you,
he just
dog.
thirsty.
A girl said that after I asked for a refill at Chick-fil-A. And I'm like, yes, I am, but not the thirst you talking about. I'm like, these some salty fries. Give me another Sprite.
When did that become a thing? Like when did like the conglomerate of women decide like, all right, so when guys actually decide to hit us up,
We're gonna
we don't want that anymore.
But
Like,
it's the same girls that complain about never getting
Thank you.
attention, and it's just the same
It's
ones.
just, you know what? Some girls get high off of the turn down. I mean, some girls
They
really
love to do
they
it.
love it. They're just like,
wait, hold on, girls.
hold on, he coming. He watch this. I'm finna turn him down. They be like,
girl,
use the move I taught you, girl.
Look at your face.
Use the move.
Look at your face.
Use the move.
Look at your face.
Then next
Look
thing
at
you
your
know,
face, boo-boo.
both of them they crying.
Like that with your
After
face
they
looking
do
like
it, they
that.
get a crying in the car. Lord, why? I ain't got nobody.
He was actually.
He like, I just sent you
the
3
last boy
dudes.
was kind of
Yeah.
cute.
But it was all thirsty.
He was thirsty.
They're all
That really
thirsty 'cause
bothers
they-
me.
And then the first thing they be like, "Oh, I need somebody that know how to treat me like a lady." All of them were thirsty, and you left them quite parched.
Exactly. So now,
I love
on to Magic City, where the women appreciate.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, I'm just a little too broke for that.
They do appreciate. They just
Happy
they have them great
feelings.
fake conversations. You know,
Oh,
they come up
man.
and like, yeah,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I'm
I
going
was like,
through
you
school.
know about my life, you care.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Like,
But then, like, I run
That would
money.
be $75.
Exactly. No, for real. I remember. No, and we're gonna say this. We're gonna leave. Any stripper that lie and say she was dancing and she stopped on the second verse, I need a receipt. I'm sorry. According to what I was told, I don't go there anymore. All right, thank y'all so much for. But no, what they'll not finish the song, or the DJ will cut to another song. You like, that's 2 songs. I like, he said 3 lines.
Yeah,
That's not a song.
unfair. That's unfair.
Yeah. And you dancing your way through school. What's your major? Huh? I like, yeah, your major's lying. All right, here we go. But no, man, thank y'all so much for tuning into the Big and Tall section, man. Y'all got any last shout outs or any announcements?
I do want to make an announcement. We're currently working on the sequel to a film that we made last year called He Who Laughs. Dale's actually helping us out on it. He's gonna be doing our sound design since he's just an audio mastermind.
Yeah,
and
right.
I'm producing the film, and we are currently in the process of doing auditions. So this Thursday in Sanford Hall from 3 to 5, we will be having an open audition. We're looking for I believe 6 characters right now. 5 of them are males, 1 is a female. We have a lot more female roles, but because it's a sequel, we already have them casted. And it's going to be here in Sanford on the 3rd floor in the editing bay. And we're hosting auditions for a film that a sequel to a film where we've won some film festival awards for, we've won some campus awards for, and we're following up with a bigger production. It was an 8-minute film, now it's a 30-minute film, and we're looking for people who are interested in acting or just being a part of a film crew or anything of that nature. So if you're interested, come to Sanford Hall, or you can email me at TD02333. I guess I'll say it again. TD, T as in tiger, D as in dog, 02333 at georgiasouthern.edu. And I can give you some more information. But again, it's at Sanford Hall in the editing bay, which is on the 3rd floor, all the way on the right side of the building. And from 3 to 5 o'clock, if you guys are interested.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
baby.
right. Tyler, you got any announcements?
I want to give a shout out to my fraternity again, Alpha Epsilon Pi. Go on Facebook, Twitter, Alpha Epsilon Pi Gamma Epsilon. Like the page. We got a lot of cool programming coming up in the next semester. We're a pretty new organization here on campus. We're just getting just got our IFC recognized and having our chartering ceremony from Nationals on the 22nd. Man, yeah, it's huge stuff.
Congrats.
So be on the lookout for it. I know this is a little bit in advance, but I know this is a good time to make a plug for it. Be on the lookout next semester. We are putting on a Holocaust Remembrance Week.
Okay.
It's big stuff. We do this basically 24-hour period where we sit and we read Holocaust victim names for 24 hours straight.
Got you.
So be on the lookout for that. Wow. And come out and support, please. It's a silent walk. It's really for a great thing, and it promotes some good things. So.
That's real, man. That's real. All right. This Thursday and every Thursday, the Statesboro Showcase down at the Main Street Billiards, 29 West Main Street. Show starts at 7 o'clock. If you would like to perform your comedy, your songs, your musical performance, your dance, your rap songs, anything that you want to participate in, email statesboroshowcase@gmail.com. That email is statesboroshowcase@gmail.com. Show starts on time at 7, and it's a real good event, man. So a lot of people have been coming out a lot lately, and we're going to be giving away some cash prizes as well. So appreciate you for supporting. You can follow me on Instagram at Big Chris Joker, BigChrisJoker. Same as on Twitter, Christopher Pugh on Facebook. Shout out to all the people in the world, all the people all over the galaxy. There's probably some people out there still lost, ran out of gas. Shout out to my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, the bros. Thank y'all to everybody, man. Shout out to my mama too, man. I love her to death, all day.
Oh yeah.
And my baby's listening. What's up, Erica? Love you.
Hey. Okay. Hey. She real cool. Y'all should meet her.
She is.
Yeah, she's super cool. If you have the privilege, it is a privilege, one of a kind.
You sound like the
She's a
Dose of
good
Keys
person.
dude.
Yeah.
She's a good person. And I really enjoy her presence.
Appreciate it, man.
But hey, I finally have something to plug, because everybody be like, "Oh, Dale, what do you have to plug?" I'm like, "Nah." But I got something today. All right, for all of y'all who don't know, and if you don't know, you square. All right, you know what I'm saying? You ain't no circle, you a lug nut if you don't know. The MPHC is having a stroll off this Friday.
Oh, yeah.
From 6. Yep. Yeah, your chapter of Omega Psi Phi.
They should
got
I'm gonna be out there supporting.
got Phi Beta Sigma in there.
All right.
You got the Zetas in there.
All right.
And I'm not sure. There was talk, but I'm not sure. There's talk of some other people in there, but we know those people from our school are performing for sure.
Okay.
Also, if you hadn't figured out why I'm plugging it, because me and my boy Dwight hosting it.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Nice.
Hey, what? You know we're gonna make it silly. We're gonna have a whole lot of fun or whatever. And we've already looked up. It's not gonna be one of those incidents like before. We all know the names. We've looked up the chapter names. We're not gonna call you Alpha Pi Alpha or nothing like that. We gonna make sure that we
Somebody did that. Somebody
did. Alpha. He was like, "Welcome to the stage, Alpha Pi Alpha." Even people who didn't know something about
imploded.
Greek. Even people who didn't know nothing about Greeks was just like,
No.
I don't think that's I don't know if that's. All my life I've heard of them, but Pi, I don't think Pi is in there.
And that's the only time when Pie made people mad. Because Pie is great.
Yeah, Pi is great.
So bad is the Alphas was like, I'm not going on stage. That's not.
That's not us.
It was
Not
funny
until you get it right.
I don't know who it was, but I was sitting on the stage where I could see. He was just like, no, not us. I don't know who he calling. It's not. He's just like, excuse me, and then and they got on the stage. But yeah, so we're gonna try not to do that at all. We're gonna try not to do that at all because we don't want to get shanked behind the Yugi or something on the way out.
The great shanking.
Yeah, we'll have to have basically
The Shawshank
civil
Redemption.
rights.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Ain't gonna be no redemption. They gonna be like, man, how do you not know? Anyway,
All right.
but yeah, definitely coming to that. It's from 6 to 9 this Friday. I want to say I don't know what the price is now, but it was $7 for
It costs to get in. Okay.
Yeah, it costs to get in. It's
Cool.
more. It's more at the door. Maybe $10 for non-Greeks at the door, and like $7 for Greeks or whatever. But honestly, it just depends on how desperate they are to sell tickets. You could get a jug. I don't know. Stepping is just normally better at HBCUs. Is all I'm gonna say. But yeah, so come on in.
Ooh.
And check us out. It's gonna be funny. We're gonna host it. It's gonna be
Yikes,
great.
man.
You know what I'm saying? Shots fired. Y'all better come
All right.
ready.
A lot of shade there, bro. A lot of shade.
To do well.
Yeah. Now they'll
Who are
probably want to do
performing,
well
I want
too.
them to do well.
They'll definitely do well. I got faith in
Yes.
everybody, man. It's gonna be cool. Man. It's gonna be cool.
Who you think gonna win?
The person who did not let the person who didn't come to practice step with him. That's who's gonna win. Every year,
That's so true.
is every year is that dude that come up the day of and we're like, can I still up or can I still step?
So,
Like,
all right, man,
yeah, man,
yeah.
come on, man. It's just 1, 2, then spin, and then you then do that, and then we like, all right. Then it's nothing worse than somebody practicing during the step. It's just it's awkward,
And you can tell too. You can tell.
Animals go up and try to break it up. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Squirrels are just like,
NG. No need to be greedy, I got enough. Be the needy and believe me. Speedy, I work it, I like it, you we take a trip to Tahiti. Afraid of better cheese, don't forget the broccoli. Just grin and body. Let me be, I want to be gossiping. Cause a love like this, they got to see. Michael Jack, won't you come rock with me? Abracadabra, turn a nigga from my eye to win. Can't come down, cause I am higher than the sky. I'm out of space and I can't feel my face. Your love, you make me numb. That's pot.